My journey into Tombstone's haunted heart led me to the Birdcage Theatre, a place steeped in history and mystery. This wasn't just any theatre. It was a relic of a bygone era. It was a time capsule from the Wild West, preserving the essence of a turbulent time. For almost a decade, the Birdcage operated non-stop, day and night. It was a saloon, a gambling hall, and a brothel, all under one roof. The air thrummed with the energy of thousands of souls who passed through its doors. Miners, gamblers, and gunslingers once crowded its floor, seeking fortune and escape. Now only their ghosts remained, lingering in the shadows. The Birdcage had seen it all. Bullet holes in the walls told tales of violent confrontations. Gunfights erupted in the darkness, echoing through the halls. Fortunes were won and lost on a turn of the cards, with lives hanging in the balance. Lives ended abruptly, leaving behind whispers of what could have been and what never was. Standing before its weathered facade, I felt a shiver of anticipation, as if the past was reaching out to me. This was a place where the veil between worlds felt thin, almost tangible. The stories held their breath in the shadows, waiting to be told, waiting for someone to listen. The heavy wooden doors creaked open. A wave of stale air washed over me. It carried the scent of dust and decay, but there was something else too, a faint metallic tang like old blood. The Birdcage Theatre swallowed the sunlight. Darkness clung to every corner. The air hung heavy, thick with unseen energy. I stepped inside, my boots echoing on the wooden floorboards. Each step felt like an intrusion, as if I were disturbing something ancient and slumbering. The silence was absolute. No hum of electricity, no distant traffic, just the sound of my own breath and the frantic beating of my heart. I was surrounded by the past, and it felt as real as my own skin. The Birdcage Theatre was a symphony of silence. But it was not an empty silence. Whispers seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. Soft murmurs, too low to decipher, brushed against my ears. I felt a presence beside me, though I was alone. A cold spot settled over my skin. My eyes darted to the stage. The air shimmered there as if a figure had just walked past. A chill ran down my spine. I could almost hear the clinking of glasses, the raucous laughter of long-dead patrons. The Birdcage Theatre was alive with unseen guests. Their energy clung to the air, a tangible reminder of their presence. I wasn't just visiting the past was visiting me. Every haunted location has its legends, tales that send shivers down the spine and make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Stories whispered in hushed tones, passed down through generations, each retelling adding a new layer of mystery and fear. The Birdcage Theatre was no exception. This historic venue, nestled in the heart of Tombstone, has seen its fair share of drama and tragedy. One tale in particular sent shivers down my spine, a story so haunting that it lingered in the air like a ghostly whisper. The story of the Lady in White, a spectral figure whose presence is both beautiful and tragic. They say she was a dancer, her beauty unmatched in all of Tombstone. Her grace and elegance captivated everyone who saw her perform. She fell in love with a gambler, a man as handsome as he was dangerous. Their love was passionate, but it was also fraught with peril. But their love was doomed from the start, a tragic romance that seemed destined for heartbreak. One fateful night, jealousy flared, and their love story took a dark turn. An argument erupted, filled with anger and betrayal. A shot rang out, echoing through the theatre, a sound that would mark the end of their tragic tale. The Lady in White collapsed, her lifeblood staining her pristine gown, a vision of sorrow and loss. Now her heartbroken spirit is said to wander the birdcage, a restless soul searching for peace. Searching for her lost love, forever bound to the place of her demise, her presence felt by those who dare to enter. I thought I saw a flicker of white in the balcony, a fleeting glimpse of something otherworldly, a fleeting glimpse of something ethereal and sad, a reminder of the theatre's haunted past. The Lady in White was real, her story etched into the very fabric of the theatre, and her sorrow permeated the very walls of the theatre, a haunting presence that will never fade away. The Birdcage Theatre was more than just a collection of ghost stories. It was a place where history and the supernatural intertwined, creating an atmosphere thick with mystery and intrigue. It was a chorus of spirits, each with their own tale to tell, stories of love, loss, and lingering memories that refused to fade away. I felt their presence around me, a swirling vortex of unseen energy. It was as if the very air was alive with whispers from the past. Some were benevolent, their energy light and curious. They seemed to reach out, eager to share their stories and experiences. Others were weighed down with sorrow, their presence heavy and cold. Their stories were tinged with sadness, a reflection of the hardships they endured. I closed my eyes, focusing on the sensations that washed over me. The theatre seemed to breathe with life, each moment filled with the echoes of the past. A rush of cold air brushed my cheek, followed by the faint scent of cigar smoke. It was as if the spirits were trying to communicate, to make their presence known. Footsteps echoed on the wooden floorboards, though I was alone. The sound was a reminder of the countless souls who had walked these halls before me. The spirits of the birdcage were all around me, watching, listening, remembering. Their energy was palpable, a testament to the lives they once lived. They were bound to this place, their energy woven into its very fabric. The theatre was more than just a building. It was a living, breathing entity. And for a brief moment I felt connected to them, a witness to their unseen world. It was a humbling experience, a reminder of the thin veil that separates the living from the dead. The Birdcage Theatre wasn't always a place of death and sorrow. It was once a place of life, vibrant and chaotic. I could almost hear the echoes of laughter, the clinking of glasses, the shuffling of cards. The saloon came alive in my mind's eye. Miners, fresh from their shifts, tossed back shots of whiskey. Gamblers huddled around tables, their faces illuminated by flickering oil lamps. The air buzzed with conversation and the promise of fortune. For a brief moment, I felt like I was transported back in time, a silent observer to a bygone era. The Birdcage Theatre held on to those memories. They lingered in the air, a testament to the lives that once unfolded within its walls. The Birdcage Theatre was more than just a building. It was a repository of history. Every inch of its interior seemed to pulse with the energy of the past. Artifacts lined the walls, each one a tangible connection to the people who once walked these halls. I ran my fingers over a dusty poker chip, imagining the hands that had held it. I peered at faded photographs, their subjects staring back at me with ghostly eyes. The weight of history pressed down on me. The Birdcage Theatre was a living museum, a testament to the enduring power of the past. These objects weren't just relics. They were vessels, holding within them the energy and memories of those who had touched them. Leaving the Birdcage Theatre felt like stepping out of a dream. The sunlight seemed blinding after the oppressive darkness within. I took a deep breath of fresh air, feeling the weight of the experience settle over me. The Birdcage Theatre had left its mark on me. The whispers, the cold spots, the feeling of being watched. It was more than just an old building. It was a portal to the past, a place where the veil between worlds felt thin. As I walked away, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that the spirits of the birdcage followed me, their unseen presence a constant reminder of my journey into their world. Tombstone, Arizona. A town forever caught between life and death, the Birdcage Theatre stands as a stark reminder of its untamed past, a place where spirits linger, their stories etched into the very fabric of the building. My encounter with the birdcage was both exhilarating and unsettling. It forced me to confront the unseen world, to acknowledge the possibility that death is not the end. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across Boot Hill, I realized that Tombstone's stories will continue to be told. Whispered on the wind, echoing through the halls of the birdcage, and living on in the hearts of those brave enough to listen. The spirits of Tombstone are not gone. They are simply waiting to be remembered.